And thank you, everyone, for your patience today. We're getting some things set up, and it's just that time of year where members are running bills and people are running around trying to be in the committees they need to be. So with that said, Madam Clerk, would you go ahead and call the roll?
Representatives Bricken, Bolso, Capley, Eldridge, Gant, Garrett, Grills, Harris, Lamberth, Littleton, Parkinson, Powell, Russell, Stevens, Todd, Vice Chairman Jernigan, Chairman Farmer. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you for that. Members, do we have anybody like to be recognized before we start today? Any remarks or recognitions? Representative Parkson, I saw your hand first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to recognize my assistant Vanessa, who is absolutely wonderful, but she had to make this trip down here to bring this photo. That's why I'm recognizing her. Make sure that she knows that we love her. And yep. and Mr. Chairman, hey, thank y'all for that because y'all gave me cover. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to recognize my assistant who runs my district office, Nichelle Smith. Nichelle, if you'll stand, this is her first time in the Capitol, y'all, so she's getting a crash course today. So we're going to be on our best behavior, right? No, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hey, you're welcome, Representative Bricken. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would like for us to recognize a young man from Coffee County. His name is Andrew Silvertooth. He's a Tennessee Eagle Forum student. And again, please make him welcome.
Representative Capley, did you want to be recognized, sir? You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, I just wanted to wish some good luck. Frank Hughes School, the Lions from Clifton, single A school, are going to the state tournament tonight. Mr. Chairman and members, they have less than 100 students in that high school, and the boys team's going to state, and they actually can't start baseball until they're done with the state tournament. So we're wishing them all the best of luck. Thank you again.
Chairman Grills.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I have a young man with me today, Mr. Caleb Studd. He's from Manchester, Tennessee. He's in 7th grade. He's a football player, plays golf. He's got a little sister that's 8, and his mom is a labor and delivery nurse, and his dad's a machinist. And just y'all make him feel welcome. He's with Bobby's. He's a shadow from the Eagle Forum, so little Eagle.
Certainly welcome him being here. Members, we have a group in the back. We have folks from CASA. They do a lot of work for children across our state, and they're here today. So just want to thank you all for your hard work. So if we could make those folks feel welcome as well. Then I also have a young lady that's with us in my office today, and it's Morgan. Laney's here. She's from Stewart County. And she's with us today, shadowing and keeping an eye on us, on me, making sure I do my job. She's doing a pretty good job about that, and I appreciate it. So if we just make her feel welcome, thank you. All right, anybody else, members? Anything else before we get started? All right, good deal. Got a couple housekeeping issues need to take care of first. Item 3, House Bill 2453 by Representative Whitson. He's asked for that to be taken off notice. Any objection? Seeing none. 2453, it's taken off notice. Moving on down, item 6, House Bill 2310 by Representative Ritchie. He's asked for that to be rolled 1 week. We have any objection to that? Seeing none. House Bill 2310 rolled for 1 week. Moving on down to item 8, House Bill 2888. That's by Chairman Todd. Chairman Todd's asked for that to be taken off notice. If there's any objection to that? Seeing none. House Bill 2888 is off notice. And that covers those matters. And that makes us to item 1, House Bill 2537 by Leader Cochran. So we got a motion and a second, and I'm looking at House Amendment 13859. Is that something you'd like to move forward with?
Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Very good, members. You got a motion and a second. All those, we'll go ahead and vote. Any objections voting to adopting that amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting House Amendment 13859 to House Bill 2537, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. You're back on the bill as amended.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This one's pretty simple. This one allows district attorneys and former elected district attorneys to perform marriage ceremonies, and this would be very similar to how the General Assembly does it. You would opt in with the Department of Vital Records. With that, I will yield to any questions.
Members, any questions for Leader Cochran? I don't see any. Are we ready to vote? Any opposition? Seeing none. All those in favor of sending House Bill 2537 as amended to calendar rules, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. You have it. Bill moves on. Thank
Chairman
you.
and committee, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Brings us to item 2, House Bill 2152 by Chairman Keisling. And sir, you have a motion and a second, and I don't see any amendments with this bill, so you are properly recognized.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Chairman. It's always good to be with you, especially in the same room with that lady to your right, that part-time Pickett County lady right there. So it's always good to be with you. This carries local application relative to Scott County, Mr. Chairman. It requires a judge of the General Sessions Court there to devote full time to the duties of the office and prohibits the judge from the practice of law or of any other employment that conflicts with the performance of their duties. Now, I have with me a resolution adopted by the county commission there, Mr. Chairman, which passed unanimously for any to inspect if they needed to do that. But with that, I'll renew my motion, sir.
And thank you for that explanation. Members, do we have anyone have any questions for Chairman Keisling on this bill? I don't see any opposition to vote. Any objection? Seeing none, question's been called. All in favor of sending House Bill 2152 to Finance, Ways and Means, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Bill moves on.
Thank you, Chairman and members.
Thank you. Brings us to item 4, House Bill 2061 by Representative Hicks. And sir, you already have a motion and a second on the bill, and it looks like I have 2 amendments in front of me, and it looks like you want to move with 14645.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Members, we want to go ahead and adopt this amendment for Representative Hicks. I've got a motion and a second. Any objection to vote? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting House Amendment 14645 to House Bill 2061, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Now we're back on the bill as amended, and you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have to agree with Chairman Keisling. The person to your right there was my father's assistant from 94 to 98. And she was just about part of the family there. We really appreciate everything that you've done for my dad, and thank the world of you. Thank you for that. This bill is agreed upon by Tennessee Hospital Association, Tennessee Sheriff's Association, private mental health facilities, and the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. And we'll see if it's okayed by Leader Lamberth here in a minute, probably. When an involuntary committed person is released from a mental health institution, the releasing facility must notify law enforcement where a patient lives and where the mental health facility is located. This is done electronically. Out of state does not apply. Homeless must be notified law enforcement where the institution is located. This bill sort of originated in Senator Wally's district. His sheriff was having issues with the Western Mental Health Institute. And they just felt like it would be better if someone was leaving their facility and going to another county, was there from that county needed to be notified as along with the notification of the county that the mental health facility's in. So that's where it's at, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
And thank you for that explanation, sir. Members, do we have any questions for Representative Hicks? Representative Capley, sir, did you have a question for Representative Hicks? You're recognized if you do. If you don't, you can wave it off.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That was one of my sheriffs as well. It's a good bill. We appreciate you. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, anyone else? Any objection to vote? Seeing none, looks like we're ready to vote. Send House Bill 2061 to calendar and rules. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Thank you. Representative Bricken, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And a little out of order, but I saw 3 very active citizens from Coffee County enter the room. And I'd like to recognize them. So if they'll stand up and let us welcome them. This is with the Coffee County Leadership Group. Anybody else from Coffee County that I missed? Oh, sorry. Thanks.
That brings us to, members, item 5, House Bill 1808 by Representative Butler. Sir, you have a motion and a second on the bill, and it looks like you have House Amendment. You have 2, but the one that I think that you want to move forward is 13997. Is that correct?
Yes, Chairman, that is
Very
correct.
good. Members, we want to go ahead and put this on. You've got a motion and a second. Any objection to voting and adopting the amendment? Seeing none, we're voting to adopt House Amendment 13997 to House Bill 1808. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. All right, we're back on the bill as amended, and you recognize, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill provides or allows if a juvenile court finds that there has been a substantial noncompliance by the parent or guardian with a statement of responsibility and a permanency plan in an order entered pursuant to 37-2-409, the department, which would be referring to the Department of Children's Services, must file a petition required by this subdivision within 90 days. With that, I'll stand for any questions. It's
All
that
right.
simple.
Thank you for that explanation. Members, we have any questions for Representative Butler? Any questions, comments? Question on the bill? All right. Looks like ready to vote whether or not to send House Bill 1808 as amended to calendar and rules. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it.
Thank you, committee.
Bill moves on. Thank you, sir. Chairman Grills.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I'm out of order here, but I wanted to make welcome my sheriff, Dyer County Sheriff Jeff Box. He's also the president of the right here on the front row. He's also the president of the Tennessee Sheriff's Association this year. So y'all make him feel welcome. And he has never arrested me, but for the record.
Don't give him any ideas, right? Okay. All right, members. That brings us to item 7, Representative Parkinson's House Bill 2780. So you've got a motion and a second, and looks like you have House Amendment 13993. Is that something you'd like to move forward with, sir?
Yes, sir. Please.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Members, we want to go ahead and vote to put that on? Do I have a motion and a second? Got a motion and a second. Any objection to voting? Seeing none, we're voting to adopt House Amendment 13993 to House Bill 2780. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Let's have it. All right, back on the bill as amended, and you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, committee, and to the members that gave me the motion and second, greatly appreciate it. Last year we passed a law that created the definition for parentage fraud, and that's when someone intentionally frauds someone, saying that they are the parent of a child and they're actually not, with the intentions of taking some property from the individual. So what this bill does is it builds on that and allows a judge to create restitution for that individual that was the victim of parentage fraud. And that's what the bill does. And with that, I move passage.
And thank you for that explanation. Members, who have any questions for Representative Parkinson? Any comments? Any objection to voting? Seeing none. All in favor, all those in favor of House Bill 2780 as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr.
Move
Chair.
the calendar and rules.
Thank you, committee.
Brings us down to item 9, House Bill 2169 by Chair Lady Littleton. Members, looks like we have House Amendment 14924. Chair Lady, would you like to adopt that amendment? You've got a motion and a second. Any objection to vote? Seeing none, voting to adopt House Amendment 14924 to House Bill 2169. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it, and you're properly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill, as amended, is in the best interest of the child, which is the new motto of DCS. This bill aims to protect the moral and religious beliefs of adoptees and foster parents if the bill passes. It will enact Tennessee Foster and Adoptive Parent Protection Act. Under this bill, the parents will not be forced to follow policy that enter around gender identity or sexual orientation if the morals or religious beliefs do not allow them to do so. This bill does not disregard the values and beliefs of the child, as the placement should be based on a comprehensive list of factors.
And thank you for that explanation. And members, we do have a Ms. Clark that had asked to testify and given proper notice. So any objection to going out of session to hearing from her? Very good. All right, Ms. Clark, if you would, you come have a seat wherever you'd like. And once you're seated, just be sure the microphone's placed there pretty close to your face, and be sure that there's the red light on. There's a face on that black box there. You should be able to push it. There should be a red light up here.
Okay.
And just introduce yourself. You have 3 minutes for opening and remarks, and then unlimited time for questions. So you recognize.
Good afternoon. My name is Nanette Clark. I'm an attorney in the state of Tennessee. I have, for a little over 25 years, my primary area of legal work has been focusing on child advocacy as a guardian ad litem for children in foster care or at risk of entering foster care. I've also volunteered as a court-appointed special advocate, foster care review board member, a mediator, and special judge in Davidson County Juvenile Court. Until recently, there was a DCS policy and there were guidelines that addressed the needs for LGBT children in foster care. That policy has disappeared from the DCS website. These bills prevent the Tennessee Department of Children's Services from having a pro-LGBT adoption and foster care placement policy. By prohibiting DCS from denying a potential foster parent or adoptive parent placement of an LGBTQ minor child when they have a sincere religious or moral belief that the minor child's sexual orientation or gender identity is wrong, you're inflicting additional adverse child experiences on these children. These are children that have already experienced abuse and neglect, and these bills definitely would be contrary to the best interest of the child. According to the Tennessee Commission of Children and Youth, in the last year, Tennessee lags behind every other state in the nation for stability of placement for foster care. More than 1/3 of Tennessee children in foster care since 2016 have experienced 3 or more foster home placements in their first year of foster care. When you require DCS to place an LGBTQ child in a placement that will refuse to support their sexual identity, not only are you creating additional adverse childhood experiences and trauma, you're creating situations where children will find a way to escape that placement, either through running away, suicide attempts, or making false allegations against the foster parents or adoptive parents. They will find a way to escape that situation. According to the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth, foster care children have told DCS officials that more emphasis needs to be placed on matching their interests, their beliefs, and their culture rather than that of the foster parents or the facility placements. The UCLA Williams Institute reported in September of 23 that the research shows that LGBTQ youth are 3 times more likely to contemplate suicide than straight youth. LGBTQ youth who are accepted by at least one supportive adult, which they won't be under this bill, are 40% less likely to attempt suicide. Please consider the best interest of our most vulnerable children in foster care and do not pass these bills. Thank you.
Very
Any
good. Thank you for that. You're right on time. And members, anyone have any questions or comments for Ms. Clark? All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. With that, members, any objection to going back in session? All right. Back in session. Chair Lady Littleton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is exactly what this bill does, is to protect the child and put it in a home that has the same beliefs as the child, instead of contrary to putting it in that has religious beliefs against if they are LGBT or gender. So if they're in a home that has religious beliefs, they can't be happy there because those parents are not going to accept what the child is doing. So we're trying to make sure that we put the child in the best placement and make sure that the foster parents and adoptive parents are protected as well. So that's what this bill does.
Very good. Members, do we have any questions for Chair Lady Littleton? Representative Parkinson, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Chair Lady. What's the process for how foster children are placed in a foster home?
Chair Lady?
I'm not sure I can answer that question. I think once they apply for the foster chair, for the foster care process, I think that they have to be aware of what child is coming to them. They can refuse the child. So that's the process.
Representative Parkinson, you recognize.
And thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't know if DCS is on the list or not to speak. Can we go out of session and talk to DCS? I just want to know, because I don't know what the process is for how foster children get to the homes that they get to. Is that a possibility?
I think the best way to approach that is just get with DCS after committee, and you can ask about that process. I think Chair Lady Littleton's bill is adjusting how, once they went through that process, how they're then placed. So I do agree that your questions are warranted. I don't have DCS on the list.
Okay.
Didn't anticipate that, but they'll be happy to answer any questions you may have, Representative Parkinson.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask the sponsor a question then. And it's just, because I want to understand her bill a little bit better. So, and maybe my colleague, he might know a little bit better about how children are placed in foster care. But if the foster parents, if they can already refuse a child right now, I'm trying to understand what we're doing with the bill. If you can help me with that.
Shirley Littleton.
We're just trying to think, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're just trying to think of the best interest of the child and make sure that it's not placed in a home where it will not be accepted.
Representative
So
Parkinson.
this is a protection for the parent, the foster parents and the adoptive parents, as well as the child.
Representative Parkinson.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Representative Harris.
Thank you, Chair. And so this goes back to the conversation we had last week when the bill was in children and families. If you stated that we want to make sure that the children end up in a home, basically that they'll be welcomed. Why are we giving the option for parents to want to adopt who are not going to welcome any and every child?
Representative Harris, just hold on one second there. Just give us a moment.
So it's like they can't say it's.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized in the meantime.
I don't mind taking that one. So, DCS will make sure that we are placing children and families in maximally welcome that are supportive of them, but not trying to force relationships that may not work for one. But we just try to find good homes for families. But what I don't want, and this is happening right now, is policies within DCS, within our laws, that would chase foster families out from being defined because they're worried that they would have to change their own belief structures. They have a freedom to their beliefs, they have a freedom to be foster families or not. But we need more foster families. This will get more foster families in. We just want these children in homes that they will thrive in, because many of these children are not. And so it's just about trying to match folks up that actually do match well as a family. And as you mentioned in colleague of mine mentioned earlier, it is a lot of times these children do bounce from home to home, and that's so tough on them. So just trying to find a home that matches well for each child that will love and nurture them and try to make sure to give them a good home. And so to me, that's all this legislation does. Thank you.
Thank you. And Representative Harris, I want to go back to you. You were speaking and then some things kind of happened. Did Leader Lambert's response answer your question? Very good. Next on the list I have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So if a foster child goes to a foster home and during that time while they are there and somewhere down the line, the sexual orientation doesn't match up, beliefs don't match up with the parent, will the parents then have the option to be like, okay, I would like to relinquish that child back to DCS care again?
Is that to the sponsor?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's exactly what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to do a good match. We're trying to make sure that the adoptive parents and the foster parents are protected, as well as the child. But that's what we're trying to prevent is children going into homes that they won't be happy in, and then they run away. And so this is for their protection. It is in the best interest of the child.
Very good. Representative Harris, did I answer your question? Thank you. Thank you. Representative Capley, you recognize, sir. Question's been called. Any objection? Seeing none.
I had a question, but it's all right.
Do I have objection to the question? Okay. All right. Members, we're voting on previous question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. All those in favor of sending House Bill 2169 as amended to county rule, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Bill moves on. Brings to item 10, House Bill 2791 by Chair Lady Littleton. And I see House Amendment 13998 on that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You've got a motion and a second. Any objection to adopting that amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting House Amendment 13998, House Bill 2791, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Now we're back on the bill as amended, and you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This requires the Administrative Office of the Court to file a report listing any juvenile courts not in compliance with the quality statewide data collection requirements to the court judge for the juvenile court not to be in compliance and to be in compliance, and to the chairs and the Senate Judiciary Committee and the House Civil Justice by July 1st and January 1st of each year. So it goes.
All right. Thank you for that explanation, Chair Lady Littleton. Members, any questions for Chair Lady Littleton on House Bill 2791 as amended? Seeing none, any objection to vote? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting, all those in favor of sending House Bill 2791 as amended to calendar and rule, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Members, that brings us to the end of the calendar. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All right. So moved. So moved. See y'all next week.